Now, who would win in a fight in Superman versus Goku? Now, this is the most controversial matchup in all fiction, and this makes sense as both characters are popular and iconic for their strength. Now, for Goku, we're going to cover his scaling. Goku in the Battle of Guards arc in his clash against Beerus can shake the Universe 6 macrocosm. Universe 6 macrocosm has an infinite-sized universe, and on top of that, there lies above it the afterlife. The afterlife actually transcends these said dimensions, and you can argue it's higher dimensional. Because of this, we can get Goku to. Because of this, we can actually argue that Goku would easily be in those low multiversal to low complex multiversal ranges based off this afterlife scaling. Now I'm going to cover Superman next. Superman, essentially in DC, has a lot of insane feats. Like, for example, we consistently see him able to contend and damage beings like Darkseid. Darkseid is a being who comes from the God sphere, and Darkseid is actually a platonic concept because said new gods are platonic in nature. And Superman consistently damages and actually shows superiority over said character. This would already get Superman to outer versal with irrelevant speed. However, this is more consistent, as Superman is also able to straight up one-shot beings like the World Forger. The World Forger is a 6-dimensional being. This does not mean to be confused with said spatial 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensions, rather planes of existence within the DC cosmology. And the World Forger actually was born in the 6th dimension. He was actually seen there. He was born there as a kid. That's where he came from. And, well, he wasn't really a kid, but you get what I'm saying. And the World Forger came from this. And Superman actually was able to knock him out. However, the issue with Superman scaling to the World Forger is the fact that the World Forger was actually believed to have been off-guarded, and Superman was believed to have been heavily amped. This isn't really wrong per se. However, we know that Superman was actually trapped in a dimension with no sunlight. He had no energy and no sunlight, and that's why he had to be amped to knock out the World Forger. On top of that, we know that Superman scales to the World Forger because when Superman's trapped in a dimension and the World Forger is talking to Batman, the World Forger actually says that if Superman encounters him at full power, that if him and Superman were to engage each other in combat, the World Forger would surely lose. This would further affirm the fact that Superman scales to the World Forger. We also know, in fact, that Superman actually scales to realms like the Phantom Zone, which he stated he can destroy. The Phantom Zone exists within the God sphere, which, as I stated earlier, houses platonic concepts. However, if you didn't know, the Phantom Zone is actually connected to Limbo. Limbo shows a reality over fictional transcendence over the lower planes of existence within DC. It would even transcend realms like the multiverse, which, by the way, are actually metaphysical in nature. And Limbo has ROF over this, or reality over fiction transcendence, and views this all as lower dimensional constructs. Because of this, and because Superman can destroy the Phantom Zone, which is connected to Limbo, this will get Superman to high outer versal with irrelevant speed. So overall, if you ask me who would win, I say Superman would wash Goku, and not just him, but most of the entire Dragon Ball verse. I just don't really think this matchup is close at all. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.